According to the Entertainment Software Association's 2021 report on the video game industry, 227 million people in the United States play video games. Their report concluded that 67% of adults and 76% of those under 18 were gamers. Like the film industry, games offer corporations and even governments the chance to subject mass audiences to propaganda and political messaging. Consider the game Kuma War, a first-person shooter for the PC. In 2004, during John Kerry's presidential campaign, controversy around his Vietnam War records became a headline. To help boost his image, Kuma War released a downloadable mission where you play John Kerry as a war hero, despite him admitting to throwing away his service medals. The very first online FPS, Maze War, was created in 1973. It was played on ARPANET, the internet of its time. ARPANET was set up by the United States Advanced Research Projects Agency, what would later become DARPA, a part of the Department of Defense. The game was so popular, DARPA later banned the game because ARPANET could no longer handle the network traffic. First-person shooters have become some of the most popular games ever since. And it should come as no surprise that even our own medical authorities contributed to one of the most downloaded games in history. Bill Gates' Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, alongside the World Health Organization, collaborated with Endemic Creations on a plague expansion called The Cure. In this game, you create vaccines and implement lockdown strategies to combat the outbreak, so you can have as much fun as they did. And just like its creators, Plague Inc. ignores natural immunity. The purpose of this expansion was to promote vaccines as the cure-all, just another way for corporations and medical authorities to infiltrate some of the most popular games in the world. In 2016, Forbes listed Tom Clancy's The Division as the number 3 best-selling game of the year, as it topped the major markets in the US, the UK, and Japan. Dark Winter, the operation mentioned in the game, was based on the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security tabletop exercise from 2001, the very same center that hosted Atlantic Storm, Clade X, and the infamous Event 201. At the 2013 E3, every viewer became instantly familiar with Dark Winter as the Division trailer began to play.
Exercise tested the emergency response to a bioterror attack on the continental United States. The operation was called Dark Winter.
Just 2 months after President Trump was sworn into office, The Division was finally released on March 8, 2016.
Daddy, what happened to the TV?
When the virus hit, panic descended into chaos, breeding a special kind of evil.
While millions of Division players around the world became familiarized with a fictional virus outbreak, those who created the war game were preparing for the real one. Exactly 4 years later, on March 11, 2020, the World Health Organization declared the COVID-19 outbreak a pandemic. But this did not stop them from gathering once again to play tabletop war games. On March 18, 2021, the Nuclear Threat Initiative held a similar exercise, where a bioengineered monkeypox virus turns into a global pandemic, the very same type of pandemic that Bill Gates has repeatedly been warning us about. As if he will reference himself in 5 years to say, "I told you so." And the very same virus that's been in the recent headlines. While the elites assure us that these tabletop scenarios are only fictional, games like The Division help to normalize such events, especially when Ubisoft sends out an email inviting players to come see what a real government shutdown looks like. While they want us to believe their war games are fictional, Tom Inglesby, director of the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, asked during Event 201, what if false information is coming from governments?
And what if that false information is coming from companies or from governments?
So what if false information is coming from governments? From companies? Those we think are there to help us? Or is the help only theater as well? From the Deep State Satire, this is Harry Carnes.